the amount of experience we could have if we just expressed ourselves fully versus this like small caged version of ourselves. We live these lives where we can't even fully live our life. And it's because we put the blinders on. We're putting on these glasses. We're shutting out parts of ourselves and parts of reality. And then I need to drink of water. We're shutting these parts of ourselves out, which is disconnecting us from all these layers that are happening like right now, all the time. All the time this is happening. I love how the way that we've structured the world, if you really just sit back and look at the way that the world, the matrix is structured, is literally designed to keep people in a limited conformity, like a space, a box. It's not really designed. It's not that you can't reach your passions and your dreams and your potential, but it's not designed to fuel those parts of you. It's designed to keep you malnourished, sick, reliant on outside influences to make your existence more comfortable is the delivery, right? The message is, hey, the entity up here at the top, the ones that design how we go about our everyday life, how we get up in the morning at what time. You guys have to understand this all came from organic matter. This all came from the dust and the minerals and the minds of the past. And don't forget, the minds of the past were not just all brilliant, great minds that had all of our best interests at heart. The the great minds of the past equally wanted to annihilate us and experiment on us and study us and use us for slaves. And then another half of the great minds of the past invented brilliant, magnificent, progressive things that are sending us into this futuristic, instant access, knowledge is everywhere time where we can manifest and understand how much of our reality is like a reflection of who we are. There's just so much knowledge and information. You can be anything you want to be. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a dragon, like there's literally a man walking around who completely altered his body. His tongue is cut, his teeth, he's completely altered to be a dragon. And he's turned from also male to female. He literally came into this existence as a man and changed himself into a woman dragon. Like, guys, nothing is impossible at this point. It's not about judging or like we're so stuck in this limited space of division, okay? We're concerned with blue or red. Like, what is superior? Am I smarter? Is white better than black? Like, it's such absolute nonsense, and it's a part of the age of illusion that we are leaving. So there's still people floating in the past right now, and there's people floating in the future, and then there's people that are in the present. And the present is a good space to be because you can kind of like, you can see that your past was an arena of learning for you to get to the now. And in the now, make decisions and actions off of that experience and wisdom that will get you into the future timeline that you prefer. Meaning you have a whole bunch of timeline options that you could take, but for optimal, you know, awesomeness, if you want to be at your highest level, you want to hop on the right timeline. And by doing this, you analyze the past, compute the data, and then you input, what's going to get you higher. You're not going to take a bunch of junk with you from your past that you don't need to elevate yourself to where you're trying to be in the future. And this world's not designed for that. We're not designed to be optimal, but when we see our potential, which is, people that we see in social media, the ultimate versions of however we would see ourselves, like what we could have been, right? The coulda, woulda, shouldas. We see these famous people or people in our lives that we're jealous of, or we have this, I want what's, the grass is always greener. By having that mentality, what we're saying is we see that we are capable of being everything that that person is. But what is stopping us? What is holding us back? What is the barrier? Well, we're behind all these layers of illusions. And if we want to access our truth, our highest selves, this version of us that can chill and just be authentic and real, which is very important. I think everyone's true self is authentic and real to them. It's not to say that somebody who's dramatic and flamboyant isn't real. It's to say that everyone's real can be different and also accepted. Like, we have such an idea that we have to say one way is right, or one way is better, or someone's superior. Like real talk, I'm not like, why does why does it have to be that way? Who has to one up at what point do we reach the top of the pyramid and we're just like, there's no more possibilities of one upping anybody? Like, I just truly think we're entering this time where I'm gonna pull some tarot. It's like dawn. It's like dawn. Like when you wake up in the morning and it's like impossible, but also it happens every day. So it's magnificent, but like think of this. Every single day the sun rises, right? And it's freaking beautiful. Like if you watch the sun come up in the morning and the colors go across the sky, you first see that red, and then it turns into like pinkish, orangish, and then you see the purple and the blues fade and the stars dissipate, and the sun, it slowly rises, and you see the heat or something. It's causing like that blurriness. Same with like a rainbow or a sunstorm or a rainstorm or lightning storm, a natural disaster, a natural anything, like an ocean, right? That's just magnificence. These are they're every day. These things are always here, constantly, right? And we are so. It's like when you drive in a car. They say keep your eyes on the road, which is smart. Keep your eyes on the road, guys. Definitely keep your eyes on the road. But what if, as you're driving, if you can just slightly glance, pay attention to how much green. I hope you have green around you. I have green around me. And just look at the glory like of everyday life in nature. It's just it freaking is like people don't see the 4K high def vibrance of nature as much as they could, as much as we can. It's there all the time. It never leaves. We just we turn it off. We have this ability to it's like deactivate DNA or like turn off a light switch in our minds, which take us from the glory. It's glorious. It's absolutely glorious, and we all have access to this. And I'm seeing us go many. We're separating collectively. We are. I don't know if we divide for a while and come back, or if I don't really know how it happens. But I do know I'm seeing onto timelines, and I'm seeing into the future. I don't even want to put times on it. Like this could be it's so hard time because you just have all these highways and there's so many options. But I'm seeing how on this path, the metaverse, as I've spoken on before, the whole I mean it's if you can't conceptualize that the metaverse already exists, like it's already here, but you're being conditioned, like groomed, like you know how creepers and pedophiles and stuff, they like groom people to become like we're being groomed into desiring the metaverse, right? But listen, I want you to really think about this. Now, the metaverse opens, right? Let's say it's open for business and more people go into virtual reality, video games, this whole concept that we need to put our consciousness, attach it to a device of some kind rather than the real world, okay? That's pretty much the divide right now. It's going to be those that suck their consciousness into a mind controlling device, um, or those that can get out of that. You know what I'm saying? And let's say let's say we figure this out, and let's say we figured this out and we get past a certain level. Like what's scary, and I don't want to say scary because it's not scary, but it's disheartening. It's uncomfortable to know or to feel or to think about this. Um, but I see people not understanding that every single thing that's going to be offered from this platform, from the platforms that are being offered today, from every level of this, there are going to be options for you to access everything you could access in the copy, in the imitation that you can do in here already. This is why it's hidden behind mental illness and like what's so crazy, okay? Because you got to follow me. Like this would be called so many things, but truly, like if you could just hold your attention, because I'm painting a picture for you so you can see how all of this connects. That's how visions work. I see in images. There's some desire to have consciousness plugged in to a device. There's an agenda. There's a reason. One that's bad for our health. How can you be plugged into a device, right? To a healthy degree that benefits your mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and spiritual and physical existence. Like, how could you physically exist a life, experience it to its fullest, have a healthy mind, body, and spirit, and also be plugged into something? How do you take care of those things? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you actually take care of your mind if you're an avatar, which we have to already be? Like, we're like an avatar playing an avatar at that point. It's just so confusing. It's like, how many levels of avatar are we here? And then that's when you go back to this layer peeling. Like, can we just keep going higher? It's absolutely nuts. But I think it's a good time to start thinking, like, do we want to manifest a future where we become probably our worst enemy, or not our worst nightmare, like what we could ever imagine ourselves to be? Like, could you imagine tomorrow being the last day you have on earth, or today? And would you look at your life and say, man, I did absolutely everything that I could have or should have or would have done in my life? You know, because I feel strongly, if I asked myself that question today, I would say no. And then that makes me wonder, like, why am I not doing my best? Why am I not at my best? Why am I not living life to the fullest here? There's definitely a question there, right? And then Death card comes out to remind us of the beautiful transitions, right? The beautiful transitions of creation, what it means to create yourself. Like, is it so hard to believe that this is an avatar? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Like, I'm only sorry because I know it's like jumbled, right? But I also know it makes plenty of sense. And it's interesting because it's like, if we create an avatar that creates an avatar, what does that mean? What if you don't create an avatar? Like, what is the real experience like if you're not living the artificial experience? What is the experience above that experience that's not the avatar? It's easy for me to have full faith in that. Like, how this is like a pleasure game, a game of pleasure. Like I can only imagine how high this game goes, but it's clearly being played, and it's almost, sometimes when I follow a thought, it drops a barrier, and it kind of, we don't need to go that way, just because it's like, it's a whole video, a whole session of time in itself, whole rabbit hole that wants to fully be experienced and expressed in its own segment. It's like, no, don't even go there. Yeah. Break this up a little bit, because this is going 72 different ways, guys. But, you know, I can sit here and have all these thoughts to myself, or I can just be organic and share them and see, and like I'm not the only one. Not the only one. There's so much happening, and I can see so much. Like I can feel so much. And this is like it's like people are like, "No, you don't feel that. You don't feel that. You don't feel that you're a rainbow light expressing itself in a human form in a body that others identify as a girl, as a woman, as a female, with all these other labels that people put on me. Like, who are you? Like, if I decide tomorrow that I want to be a dragon, okay, a dragon, and I want to add a penis, right? Like, that is my life. And I get why people go to that extreme. It's like conform or die, right? That's how the world works. It's like if you don't conform, they reject you. And then the death, which is the death card that came out, which is the process of transition. It's like once society outcasts you enough to a point where your true authentic self, the dragon that you are, you're just like, you know what? Rather than being accepted by any of you, I'm just gonna be a dragon. Okay? Because being a dragon for the 87 years I'm gonna have here is a much better experience than pretending to be some worker in some job in some place at something doing some stuff that I don't want to do. I get it. I totally get that person. I get the whole get it. These rainbows and the medicine wheel, we're going through this shift, guys. This transition from what we see and accept and believe to be negative or positive energy. Like we have so much judgment that we don't even know why we judge it. It's almost like a survival thing. Like, do we even care about some of the stuff that we hold judgment towards? It just makes no sense. So strange. I thought I was hydrated, but I'm not, so I'm sorry. Look, for about I don't even know, 7 years plus now, the earth, the wind, the fire, and the water have been communicating to me. And I felt batshit crazy for a while. Like, clinically, I really just, whatever. But really, if you listen, the elements, everything, it's all speaking. It's constantly chatter. The natural disasters of the world, the everything. It's always communicating. Okay? Time to heal. Look at that snake just sitting there all in its power. Sitting there shedding its skin, like I said. This is us, like, we're needing to shed the layers, the projections, the concepts, the theories, the ideas, the boxes and squares that tell us that what if this, like the snake's like, look, I've been a snake long enough, rubbing my belly on the ground. I lived out my existence of wisdom without, wings. I'm ready to elevate myself to this state where I can fly. The snake evolving into a dragon. Like that's what I'm seeing. It's so freaking beautiful. All because, oh, interesting. All because of, we just believe what we're told, guys. We just believe what we're told. Like somebody's granddaddy said, "Come sit on my lap, and I'm gonna tell you a story." And the story that was told was the lie we were sold today. Everything's been, you know, passed down. It started off word of mouth. Like they started just telling stories until someone said, no, we need to write everything down. We need to keep record. And then once they started keeping record, everything that was passed down with words became mythology. And then mythology became like fairy tales, which is fucking bullshit because all of the mythology that we're told was real as fuck to our ancestors. Excuse my language. But at the same time, not really, because if you listen, like, listen to what was just said. Mythology, meaning the gods and the powers, the dimensions, like aliens, everything interdimensional, from fairies to Bigfoot to, you know what I'm saying, all of it. Put it all together and tell me that just because we didn't have written record, yet every single human on earth pretty much believed in this truth at that time, we consider it fake. Well, for me, it's really hard for my brain to say that something's fake because as much as everything exists, nothing is a whole nother level. Like why would we be capable of imagining something we couldn't truly experience? Anything you can imagine, you can experience, you can have, you can hold, you can touch, you can something, it's possible. And if it's not possible in physical reality, it's damn sure possible in fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, some other dimension. It's possible. And it's interesting because it's like they want, whoever they are, we have been placed in a three-dimensional space, a limited version of reality. I've repeatedly talked about the electromagnetic spectrum because here you can see there's a lot going on in a very tiny bandwidth of frequency considering the amount that we can measure. So it's like, all right, if we have that truth, if we have that awareness, then we can at least say, okay, there's definitely a lot more happening around me than I can see, hear, feel, taste, etc. I feel this mystery is about rediscovering the depth, the layers, the peeling back that we're going through here. Because it starts, as deep as I want to go with this and as far as my mind goes, with this, I have to bring it to earth. I have to ground it and kind of bring that back to three-dimensional space because here in 3D, this far vision only is inspiring right now. It's like, if it's real, that's amazing. Or if it's true, we want to believe in superpowers and the ability to have telekinesis and certain powers and abilities, and whether we can invent certain technologies as well. There's certain things that we're ready for, psychologically, but it's not here yet. And to get it here, we're going to have to break down the illusion, break down the matrix, acknowledge that it's functioning, right? First of all, have it's a 12-step program. You have to first admit that you're an addict, right? Hello, I'm, my name's Jasmine and I am an addict. I have believed that my whole life was real, but I actually realized it's not. And I had to go through all these layers and purgings and things where I had to let go and cleanse and remove myself and open up myself and let there's all these things I had to do. I have to work on my anger. I have to know why I'm angry, why I'm this, why I'm that. Like it's just like a whole journey for you to get to a space of saying, I welcome in the future. I welcome in the highest version of myself. I welcome in who I came here to be. Because if we can express ourselves truly, authentically, and in tune with who we are, that's when vibrationally our planet can be at a place where we are going to want to move forward rather than live in the past as we have been doing, reminiscing about things and ruminating about things that don't serve our future, our progress that we're trying to make here. Whew. Sometimes I wonder myself why. Like, why do we have to go this deep? Why do, like why can't we just talk about me and my own chatter in my head? Why can't we just like chill today? Can we just chill? Like, let's just watch a movie. Let's chill. No, we're gonna go 17 million galaxies left. Okay, that's where we're going. So this is like showing me divine feminine energy. The horses are. So this is like a lot of freedom energy, triumph, moving forward, trailblazing, pioneer, adventure, movement, fun. And then we've got it's such an interesting, I don't know if you can hear them animals in my background. Queen of emotions. Yes, it's going to take us getting really in tune with ourselves and moving towards what emotionally fulfills us. Like, what is our cup full like? What is the highest you like? Did you come here to be an amazing dad that becomes an amazing grandpa, that everyone has support system and a team and a family built on the foundation of your dedication to your family? Like, is that your role in this life, or did you come here to be as a boy, right? That decided or manifested itself as some sort of androgynous being that decided that wants to alter itself to be a woman, to be a half woman, half man, unicorn. Like, the thing about this world is we have the space and ability to fulfill so many strange, odd, and different desires that we have for some reason we've learned to be resistant. We've like what there's so much beauty in odd. Like, I think the most beautiful things on earth are the strange and odd things, the unique things that you don't see every day. We've gotten so accustomed to like trends and patterns of the past. Like, it's so cool when you can like change things up, add a new dynamic, and be innovative, right? Innovative and quirky and strange, right? That's the age of Aquarius. What are you bringing to this new fast moving chariot merry-go-round tornado of a future? It don't be scared. I feel like a lot of people are so scared, and it's so sad because I just don't feel, again, it's just people running to the past and running in ways of fear where they run into brick walls of resistance, because once you hit that wall of resistance, you assume that's the ceiling, the cap, the end, when there is no end. That's the illusion that the sky is the end, there is no limit, right? That this is the limitless possibilities. We're not told this because it's nonsense. We're told this because it's true. As much as the illusions are out here projecting things, they're damn good illusions. They're quite well designed. It's like the freaking Truman Show where the light bulb falls out of the sky, and Jim Carrey, he's like, did a light bulb just fall out of the sky, bro? Like, it blows his mind, because like that's how crazy this is. It's that real. It's that real, and it's that trippy, and it's that true. But until we accept that we have a problem, that we won't see that we're even in the program, or that we're in the matrix system. And I love all these movies, these amazing artists, like music. It's everywhere. The truth is all around you. But what patterns are you picking up on? Are you picking up on truth, or are you picking up on many other programs? You know, everyone's under their own mind program. You know, like, be in the moment. I hope that's not. Sometimes when I go to my far place, I really am like, who in the hell is gonna understand what I'm saying? You know? All right. I'm gonna pull some healing cards here, because I want to see. I just want to be open to share. I've been going to some really cool places in my dreams, guys. I just had to share that. And I'm telling you, I was in Africa. I've never physically, in this body, in this life, been in Africa. But in my dream, in that dream, my dream the other day, I was in Africa, and I was in the ocean. I remember swimming. I mean, it was so real. I mean, just like if there is anything like they're describing what the metaverse is capable of, I'm talking, this was like 4K high def, real life VR. Like, that's, we already have it. We don't need the metaverse. That's just putting authority in creating this, what we already did. This is already that. We're just creating it at another level down, which puts more authority over you. And at the ultimate version of yourself, I promise you, I want you to just think of some divas. Like, think of Beyonce, think of Prince, think of Eminem. Gosh, I'm so sorry to J. Cole. I'm so sorry to all the amazing artists out there that have fought for this. But think of all the amazing artists that are independent and would never, Kanye West, never sell themselves to a record label, right? Because they know their value. You got to know your value on this earth. Your value is not being plugged into somebody's metaverse. Your value is being plugged into the innerverse, the deep reality that's already there. That's just like the metaverse. All the cards were flying everywhere. Nature. Look, told you. I sorry about the shine. I'm gonna do my best. But this card is nature. It's this woman, and she's like a half human, half mermaid, and she's also got bird wings. So she's literally in the fetal position in nature, over the water, really plugged in, really tuned in. All the elements are here. Fire's not here, but most of the elements are here. I'm sure there's some aspect of fire, and what she's doing is she's just being in tune, just being connected, being in the vibration of her emotions, her feelings, not judging. She's just relaxed in that space. And that's what I was saying. Like, this is already, you have all that possibility in here. It's just we haven't um, activated fully within society yet. We're still at a baby stage of literally, literally. I can't. The baby with the circle spiraling out. We are just understanding how much possibilities there are. You see how this is a breathe, breathe. It's like remember meditation, choices. We got all these choices that to make to decide, and we're not going to be able to do so unless we sit back and meditate and think and contemplate and figure out what is the path of healing for us, what is the way for us, because I'm telling you there's all these timelines, and it's okay for wherever you are because there is no wrong choice. That's the illusion. There's no wrong choice, but there is a choice that that leads to misery, a choice that leads to grief, anger, gluttony, greed. And then there's love and compassion and forgiveness and joy and acceptance. There's paths you can take, and if you want to feel whole and not need to live on crutches and addictions and vices and things that aren't making you feel passionate and happy and joyful with your life, you will choose the paths of least resistance. You will make better choices that don't trigger negative actions due to the circumstances you put yourself in, the choices, the vibrations, the energies you surround yourself with. Because you are a reflection of your environment, but you are also a reflection of the most beautiful things in the world. You are you are the beautiful and the ugly. You are the up and the down. It's okay to experience highs and lows. No one needs to be numbed and doped out to the point where they can't even enjoy physical life. Because by being so high, disconnected, meaning like out of whack, out of tune, is just as suicidal as the opposite, which is being so physically attached that you can't imagine or create or be passionate. Both extremes are super beneficial to a vibrant life. And I hope we all can find our way there. And I hope this message came through clearly. And I'm very grateful to share this space with you and the guides and angels and teams of aliens out there that are sending me messages. Like, I'm so grateful because that went so many places that I couldn't have went on my own. Obviously, I'm doing my best to channel some interesting messages. So I'm truly grateful, and check out some other content on my channel where I talk about other things in other ways as best as I can relay. So I appreciate you, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.